And that's a great segue to our next topic, which is, waiting until a Prism release. I have a feeling that most of our audience is going to agree with us on this, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway because I made the mistake last year of going after a lot of these types of cards. These particular cards weren't out last year, but I just noticed that the types of cards I fell for last year are out again. And I'm going to reference an article that I wrote. I am now a contributor, in addition to obviously running nooffseason.com. I'm a contributor to Sports Card Investor. And so I recently wrote this article, why you should avoid the new NFL classes cards. And that's not to say that you should avoid their future pro Prism releases or anything like that, but it's to specifically say that you should avoid these rookie card releases, even when they're in their pro uniforms or pro branding on the releases. So first of all, I'll talk about, I think, the mistake that I made last year, and then we'll talk about these cards that are out that I want you to avoid. And Kendall, you can disagree with me. But like I bought last year, I bought a bunch of these Panini Instant rookie cards basically on draft night, just because I was so excited about, the QB class. I wasn't wrong about the QB class and the wide receivers and running backs that were in the class, right? Like we could go on and on all day about how great those guys are and their card value. But I was wrong about the cards that I bought, because I bought these instant draft night cards that essentially just don't hold any value long term. And so, but my thought was, look, if I go out and if I'm the first to get these cards graded and then get them out on the secondary market before the NFL season starts, I think I can make a good amount of money on these. And basically I ended up breaking even. I mean, it was a whole exercise of just basically a whole lot of work for breaking even, which I'm okay with, because I want to learn. I want to learn by doing. That's how I learn. But now that I've learned by doing that, I'm not going to make the same mistake again, and I don't want the audience to make the same mistake I made. These cards just aren't worth anything. They're just, whether they're graded SGC or PSA 10s or whatever, you're just not going to really make any money off of them. And I would even avoid the autographs. I think, the new release this year that didn't exist last year is from Topps, and it's this is a screenshot from Slab Stocks for those of you watching, but the first Bowman, so first Bowman football, it's called Bowman U football. And so there are your common serial numbered cards. You've got autos in there. They're great looking cards. Let's hold our thought on whether or not those are investable for 1 second, because I want to also show on my screen here the Panini Instant from this year. So this is this year's version of the mistake I made last year. You've got your Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson, Derek Stingley Jr., Garrett Wilson, Matt Corral. So you've got the opportunity to make the same mistakes again that I made last year. These are a no. Like, I don't even know if we need to have a discussion on these, but I think we need to have a little bit of a discussion on the Bowman U. And I'd love to know from you all in the comments your thoughts on the Bowman U, because I could see people going either way on these. There is a Bryce Young auto in this set as well. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want the Bryce Young. And then you've got this year's rookies like Malik Willis, who fell to the third round to Tennessee. And you've got Kenny Pickett, who went in probably the most desirable spot for a quarterback to Pittsburgh in the first round. So, Kendall, what are your thoughts on this entire topic related to football, and especially the Bowman U?
So I also kind of fell for a similar trap, not necessarily the Panini now. I didn't necessarily do that, but I dove in pretty heavily into the Prism Draft Picks set, which is almost the same in my mind, where it's like you're going to get these guys first cards, but they're going to have like the logo of the team, but they're going to have the jersey of their college. And so, like, for instance, you saw Trevor Lawrence in a Clemson jersey, you saw Mac Jones in an Alabama jersey, which is like what you've just shown. but I dove pretty heavily into the Prism draft picks at the time during early 2021. So around this time last year, I started buying Prism draft picks as soon as it hit the retail stores, and I was breaking it in, ripping it, and buying into breaks as well. And it just, I saw absolutely no return on it, basically. Not only is football for me, basically you're investing in quarterbacks only. I don't like that, and I've talked about that several times on this, but at the same time, it's just not a product that I was willing to go out there for. But the Bowman U stuff, I think, is very interesting, but not because of what it is, but all the other things around what Bowman U is doing. For instance, it's Topps first football product back in it's like their first thing back in another sport other than baseball and soccer. For instance, Fanatics bought them. They released Bowman University. Like, it was just like boom, boom. And I think it's a play towards Panini. I think it's a little bit of a power play that Topps and Fanatics is doing, because Panini is not their licensed product right now. Like, they're not owning it. And so I think the interesting aspect is like the larger aspect of Bowman University cards, I think, is what makes it appealing to me. Like, the knowing the general context of the actual sports card market is why this product is appealing to me. Do they look sexy? Absolutely. Man, I am all in on this Bowman University from a looks standpoint, because I think it looks exactly like every other card I invest in, because I'm a Bowman investor, like, and so like, this is like, cool, same cards, different sport, might as well, like, that's how I feel. But
For sure.
I also have to temper my expectations, knowing that college jerseys, they have a floor, they have a ceiling that, like, I don't know if it's appropriate to talk about glass ceiling in this aspect, but college cards kind of have that, where it's like they're never going to get paid at the same level as the pro uniforms. But so I'm breaking the product. Like, Wild Cards Trading is actually doing our first non-baseball break of the year in Bowman University cards, and so like, we're waiting for that to come in. So I'm excited about it, and I just can't wait to see them, but I'm also not buying them personally. So like, yeah. I don't really know where that puts you. So, but I am super excited for Kenny Pickett going to the Steelers. As a Browns fan, I think that is a great thing for us, like for our division, but also for him going from like a Pennsylvania kid going to the Steelers at the 20th pick. The Steelers didn't have to like go up to get their guy. Like, what a cool story. Like, as Roethlisberger is riding off into the wind, they're literally handing the keys to their guy. I know you're a Steelers guy and everything, so I'm sure that was really cool. But like, this is a story just made in football heaven. Like, this is like, if he's good, it's going to be like better than Joe Burrow mania. Like, this is going to be Pickett mania, and so
for sure.
And I thought it's funny that they drafted Pickett and Pickens. I think they got two guys there, and so I was like, the pick boys, like, I don't know, they're probably going to do some marketing play there, but anyway, go for it.
Yeah, I think I'm a storyline guy. I like a good storyline, and I can see a good storyline coming a mile away, and this is definitely one.
Stories sell. Stories sell.
Yeah, and I think Kenny Pickett, when his pro uniform autos come out, this probably isn't a bold prediction, but I think he's going to be the biggest chase. Probably he might not be. It'll be interesting to see what his early stuff starts selling for. I can almost guarantee you that these Bowman U football autos of him are going to be pretty desirable this NFL offseason. And then if there's any kind of hype around him based on like camp or preseason, they're probably going to spike big time. And I would just caution everyone. I know these are cool. I could see potentially if you want to rip a box as a collector and then list one that you pull and get some money back for a Kenny Pickett auto, now would be the time to do it. Or maybe July or August would be potentially even better time to do it. But I wouldn't want to be the person on the other end of that buying it on eBay, because I just don't see these cards being, like Kendall kind of said, like they have a really, really low floor and a really, really low ceiling, I think. So they're a better example than the Panini Instant of this is really cool now. Is it investable? Maybe no. You know what I mean? Like I just don't think they are. But definitely good. I agree they're good for the hobby. I agree that like having these cards out there is good for the hobby. It's good for the hype around a particular player. But I mean, am I going to buy my thought is like, why would I buy a Bryce Young auto now when like he's still got another year in college? Ridiculous drops happen in drafts for reasons that no one outside the NFL front office really understands. And, like, why would I buy a Bryce Young or another prospect auto now that's got another year in college, for example, out of this set when, you talk about injuries in basketball. I mean, there's no other sport that has as many injuries as football. So that's one reason why, I mean, I think that I would like to see wide receivers and running backs and tight ends and even defense be as investable as quarterbacks one day. But I just find a hard time believing it'll ever actually happen just because of the nature of the sport itself and the injury. No one wants to hold a guy's card who tears his ACL and is facing a 12-month comeback just because now you're 12 months like J.K. Dobbins. Like I had a J.K. Dobbins card last year and I was super frustrated because before I got the chance to list it on eBay, he tore his ACL. So anyway, shows on the feed, so we encourage you to subscribe. And if you need direction on how to subscribe, just go to sportscardstrategy.com and there's quick links to subscribe to all of our shows right there and join the Facebook group. We'd love to see you join the Facebook group so we can connect with you, so we can understand more about your sports card investing journey and help you out even more. And check out the nooffseason.com sports card investment report. Save 20% by using the promo code NOOFFSEASON. And we'd love you to check out marketmoversapp.com and get your first month for only $1 by using the promo code NOOFFSEASON. Everybody, thanks for listening and watching, and have a great day.